Okay, let's get started. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining today's coffee break, where we're going to be talking about monitoring of certificates, and we're going to be focusing on the Microsoft Management Pack for this, which is really cool because it's new. It's in CTP right now, so we get a chance to see it before it's publicly released in GA form, provide feedback, and hear from the SCOM product team. So I'll be joined by some guests today, which is great. But as always, if you have questions, please do put them on Slack throughout the event, or at any point in time after as well. If you go to scomathon.com/Slack, all of the information to join is there. So without further ado, let's introduce today's panel, starting with me, the easy one. I'm the Director of Advanced Products here at Squared Up. So with me, I'm very excited to welcome back Akash. Akash, you're the SCOM Program Manager. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Bruce.
Good to have you here. We also have Satish. Satish, you're a systems engineer and involved in the SCOM in this management pack. It's good to have you with us, Satish.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you.
Cool. So without further ado, we're going to dig straight in, looking at the MP. So Akash, I'll hand over to you at this point.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Bruce. Thanks for everyone joining in, and again, we're going to talk about what we have in store for Bharat certificates. I'm sure many of you guys may have tried the management pack so far. The link is there on this chat, and of course, we'll be sharing it in the chat as well as on the slides at later stages. The main problem that we're trying to solve with the certificate management pack is that certificates are deployed in any org, be it for authentication, be it for trust between objects like servers, between applications, and with certificates, with hundreds of certificates being deployed, we wouldn't know which one is expiring, which one is valid. What about the authenticity of the certificate, the parent-child certificates, amongst the linked certificates? Many of them, the parent may be expiring, or the child, the mid-parent may be expiring as well. Having said that, the logic of the management pack is to go ahead and monitor for the expiration, validation, which I was talking about, the parent-child, the authenticity, and all of it, and of course in taking a look at the CRLs. Cool. And yeah, these are the three major things that the management pack checks for: the expiration and validation of certificates, and of course the validity of the CRLs. Right. Let's double click on each of them and tell you a few things in detail. One is the first and foremost is the ease of configuring this management pack. People are used to going ahead and creating overrides and creating overrides manually through the XML or through the operations console. But this one, we go ahead and make it very easy for the SCOM admin who's going to configure the management pack. There are a few glitches. Again, I want to put a small disclaimer for folks who have already tried the current version. There have been few significant changes. And we are going to go ahead and release the management pack as CTP version 2, right? We'll talk about what is available in version 2 and how we have gone ahead and fixed few few glaring and evident glitches which were there in version 1. Okay. Having said that, with the simplified management pack, simplified configuration, it makes it very easy for an admin to go ahead and configure what to search for or what to discover and what to monitor, right? You can go ahead and discover certificate and CRLs on selected groups of computers, and of course you can go ahead and filter the certificates using the regex, include or exclude, and of course by the certificate name as well. Okay, the subject property of each certificates. You can go ahead and monitor certificates for expirations and per issuer settings, right? There's a property issuer for every certificate. You can go ahead and monitor at that specific level. You can go ahead and set up unique thresholds based on issuer. Let's say some certificate is issued by Cisco, and another certificate is issued by, let's say, F5. You can go ahead and say for F5 certificates, go ahead and set a threshold as 45 days, whereas for Cisco as 90 days. Right? Those are the unique thresholds. Provide views and HTML the SOPs that we have developed in-house come with pre-built dashboards. We're going to go ahead and show you in minutes. What we'll do right now is we're going to show what the configuration looks like. Sorry, Satish, I'm going to talk about the configuration, and then probably you can talk about this. Okay. As I talked about, simplified setup piece. I'm sorry, there's a bit of a slow. As I talked about the simplified MP configuration, you can go ahead and choose the groups to monitor, and then you can go ahead and choose certificates in those groups to monitor. And then post that, once you have selected the groups, selected the certificates to monitor, you can then go ahead and further filter down on the pattern of the name, certificate name. If the name is starting with Microsoft or the name starting with squared up, I'm just giving you random examples. And then I also talked about the first. Sorry, there was a disturbance. And then we talked about issuer configuration. As I mentioned, you can go ahead and set up different thresholds based on the issuer. Okay. And on those issuer, you can go ahead and the thresholds that you can go ahead and set up is the expiring certificate, rather the expiring date, CRL update thresholds, and of course, the work in progress is the certificate chain verification flags. Okay, those are flags which will be enabled by GA, but right now these are the 3 thresholds that can be changed. Having said that, let's talk about what discovery overrides are available as part of this pack.
Just quickly, Akash, before you do that, can I request you turn off your camera? We're getting some bad audio. Sounds like a bandwidth problem. So hopefully killing the webcam will help. Thanks.
Done. Satish, over to you. Do you want to go ahead and talk about the discoveries?
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining this webinar. So the simplify the the GUI based configurations. Once we save the configuration button in the administration workspace, the override MP will be generated. So like these are the few overrides with the default configuration. Like so the groups what you selected in the groups, it will be enabled the stores, and the certificates which you going to monitor, the certificate will be target on the stores here. So first the override would be enabling the example of the all computer groups. So it is enabling the two. Then another one is the stores what we are selected in the operation console administrative workspace. Those stores we are enabling, and we are only creating those particular stores only. And then another configuration override here, certificates are enabling on the targeted stores instance only. So the issue configurations for a threshold, setting the warning threshold and expiration threshold, it would be set based on the configurations available in the administration workspace. So let's move to next slide. So as I told, discoveries are, we have 2 discoveries, certificates and stores. So by default, 2 discoveries are disabled until unless the customer or end user has to configure the MP into administration workspace, or else he has to update the override MP for enabling the stores and certificates was targeted groups. So administrators have the option to set the groups and stores to select the what groups he going to monitor, and also what stores he has to monitor. Here the certificates are generally mapping into the depending on the stores, and stores is target on the groups. So here and also we have the selecting groups enabling the store discovery on those groups only. Here we have the 2 events ID we are presenting. So whenever the certificates are populating, the instance populating, we are showing the ops manager event viewer, the 666 event where, so we can see the certificate stores instance as well as the certificates instance will be populated. So next slide. So here we have the four rules, 4 monitors and 1 rule we have there in this MP. The first one, certificate chain monitor. So it will give the alert when the chain, the build chain is not valid or chain has the critical, it will raise the alert. and as well as change the health status to critical. Another one, we have the certificate expiry monitor. It will raise the unhealthy certificate based on the configuration what we selected in the or at MP or administrative console settings. Another one, we here the certificate revocation list update monitor, like the CLR has not updated based on the given thresholds, the threshold which we given in the configuration of override MP. So another one monitor, we have the stores dependency monitor. So the health you explore of the stores will be depending on the certificates. So the certificates have the expiry and validity monitor. So another one, we have the rule, the discovery of stores rule. It will a warning alert if any issue between the certificates and the stores discoveries. So along with this MP, we are given the few views and a few groups views here. So the snapshot what is showing the MP contain the active alerts, which is the MP related alerts will be showing the active alert place, and certificate revocation list instance showing the certificate revocation list state view and the stores state view, and certificates related views we are showing the about expire all certificate, expired certificates, invalid certificates. Another one is we are showing the few groups, so stores group, the intermediate certificate authority, local non-removal certificates, other stores, and personal and third-party root certificates. We will show the details in the live demo next. So we have another one, the dashboard. So we have the H5 dashboard. We are shipping from the same MP. We don't have any other MP for the H5 dashboard view. So along with this MP, we are presenting. So only the stores critical states are displayed under the certificates stores. The critical certificate expiry tab will display the all certificates that are expired, expiring like 1 to 30 days, 32 to 60 days, 60 to 90 days expiration will show in the different charts. Another one, what we created the configuration, the not won't be reflected in the dashboard. So the snapshot is showing look like the same dashboard. We have the optional web console view. So we have here the two widgets will be the certificates of overall health, exploring the certificates and certificate revocation list. So validity chart contain the certificates are validity count, the invalidity tiles showing the invalidity count. Another one, expiration, as told, expiration expired certificate, the expired certificate going to 1 to 30 days, 31, 30 to 60 different will be populated based on the based on the expiry criteria. So below we have the four tabs: alerts and certificate expiry, CLR, certificate stores. So active alerts, we are showing all active alerts which are available in the ops console. Another with expiration, certificate expiration. Here the drop down will be see based on the selecting. We can see the different drop down values and their criteria results. CLRs and certificate stores will be same. So I will start demo now.
Bruce, I guess Satish has to share the screen now.
He does. Let me just give him said power. You should, Satish, have the power to share your screen. There we go. We see your desktop.
So once you import the MP in your environment, you would see the one of the new folder, Microsoft certificate folder in your administration console workspace. So once we click here, you would see the left hand side. So here we are populating. The first one is going to the groups. What groups we are going to monitor? We are populating with all groups which are available in your management console. By selecting each one, we can select like just by a few button clicks we can select by just adding those groups. At the same time, we can see what groups missions are available. We can just click the view computer. We can see the missions view, and also here we can remove the by clicking the remove button if you don't want to monitoring the groups. And also we received a few feedback from the customers, like they want to have their custom groups in your they want to monitor their custom groups to have the monitoring for the certificates. So here there is a provision. Here we are populating those are coming from the sealed MP, not XML. So custom groups, if you have any custom groups, those groups has to convert into sealed MP, like the fast seal or VSA tools. You can convert your XMLs to .mp. Then you can install the MPs in your console. Those custom groups will be populated in this place. So right now this is one of the custom group I created. I can add here. You can see what are the instance will be there in this computer list. So after that we have another section for configuration. So stores. So here stores are static stores. These are not dynamic stores. So the initial version of the CTMP having some design issues. So unnecessary the storage discovery is target on the Windows computer. So we have a lot of instance noise will be there. So for that we have reduced the instance count for the store instance. So we are for now the new version of the CTPMP have the design change, like right. These are the stores we are populating static list. So if you want to have the monitoring, you can just select those stores. You can click the one, those stores will be added here. So if you few store which is not available in this list, what you have done, there is we given one text box. Here you can type the store name, and you can add button. It will be populated here. Those stores will be start monitoring those certificates. So and also another section we have the filtering the certificate names in subject line. So by default, it will allow all certificates which are available in this stores and added in the groups. So here, so based on your organization needs, you want to have the certificates only few naming or few direct pattern certificates. So here we can add the pattern here, the certificate name pattern. So those certificate will be start monitoring. And at the same time exclusive pattern, like certificates you don't want to monitoring, so you can add here the exclusive. So these experts are valid. You can use any pattern which is suitable in your requirement. So another one we have here, like issue configuration. By default we are providing the few threshold, warning threshold, and 90 days, and the critical threshold 15 days, and the certificate evacuation list lesson update threshold 5 days, 7 days. So here, so these threshold will be applied for all certificates which are available in this above stores. So each per issue per issue we can have the different kind of thresholds. So you can add the add button here. 1 second. You can add the add button here. You can add just Microsoft is one of the issue. Can click here. So here we can set the different kind of thresholds for the this pattern. So you can add a number of issuer regex pattern. So those issuer type, the threshold will be mapped for the certificates. So I move to the monitoring section here. So in the monitoring workspace, we could see the folder, Microsoft Certificate Monitoring folder. So all alerts, whatever there in, you can showing here. So and also the new change here we added. The previous version of the MP doesn't have the mapping, the alert from Uchi server or Uchi store. Now we are showing the details from server store name and the server details. So by seeing these details, the customer they can easily identify the certificate from which store and which server. They can do the necessary things for the relevant certificate. So here in this active alert section, we could see the all active alerts, the validity, the certificates, CLR list update, alerts, and expiry warning. Everything will be showing here. So another one we have a CLR list. So the list is not updated properly with the based on the given threshold. So here also we are showing the change, like computer name. So the list is coming from this targeted compute server, so we can easily identify. So stores. So the initial version of the NP, the stores are, a lot of stores are populating. So whatever the environment, how many agents will be there, the stores will be populated from all agents. So now we have changed the design. So now the stores, what we selected in the configuration section, those stores will be start monitoring. And also here, we are also given the provision adding the server name. You can easily identify the store from which server. And also we here the dependency monitored. By selecting here, we can see the how many certificates and the status by clicking the thing. So here the certificate. So each certificate having the two roll of monitors. One is the chain monitor, another one is the expiry monitor. Chain monitor will give the chain validity, and the chains is any critical, it will show the change to critical. Another one is the expiration monitor. That's three state monitors. So based on the configuration what you selected in the administration workspace, so the threshold will be invoked here, so that we can see the health expert, it would be warning or beyond the critical. So by selecting here also, we are showing the certificate relevant details along with the stores and computer details we are showing. So this is also new change for the new version of the certificate TMP. So each and also the certificate related, here the all certificates. So each certificate, generally certificate having, for example, certificate having the below details. So whatever details we are showing as the active properties, you click here, we are showing all the few important properties and their values. Along with, we are storing the store name and server name. This is the new change for this new version of the CTP-MP. So previously the customers are asked a requester like they're seeing the instance, and but they know how to identify the certificate from which server. So we have directly, we are showing the store name and the server name from. So by seeing these instance, we can easily identify. So the critical one. And about the expert, we have the view and the expired certificate. You can have the view expired certificate. Invalid certificate, we have the invalid certificate. So certificates, we have the 4 state views. All certificate, expired certificate, invalid certificate, about expired certificate. So at the same time, we are showing the few stores views, like personal, other stores, local non-removable certificates and intermediate certificate authority. So all these stores we are showing the certificate, we are showing all information along with the what store the certificate is coming and when the server details. So I move to the dashboard. So web console view, we have same. If you see, the certificate folder will be there. So all alerts, by same we can see whatever they having the SCOM console, we can see along with the extra dashboard. As I told earlier, the certificate consolidated status and certificate evacuation status we are showing here, and the validity, the how many certificates are valid and how many certificates are invalid, we are showing as in this chart. And expiration certificate, these certificates are expired in my environment. If yes, any certificate are going to expire by next 1 to 30 days, it will be show another third here. And any certificate from 31 days to 60 days, it will have another one. Likewise, here the 4 tabs, all alerts, we are showing alerts with the name and the age. So certificate expiry, here we have the different all expire, any certificate you going to expire for these criteria, we can select have. So all expire, it will select all expiries. And CLRs, so what they having in our environment, we are showing the CLR list. And certificate stores, what stores we are showing certificate, the critical stores we are showing, we can select the path, and we can see the particular stores level, we can you can able to see. So warning, if any good warning, you can show in this place. Yes, sir. Okay. Akash, I have done my side.
Perfect. Thank you very much. There are a bunch of questions coming in the chat. I will get to those, don't worry. Let me just take back screen and reshare the slides, and we will continue. So thank you very much, Satish. Really good to see it in action, and clearly, you know, it's resonating with the community from the questions, which we'll get to in a second. Just to reiterate, the download links and more information is available on the blog here. So the download links, the blog, and where you provide feedback, the links are in the chat of GoToWebinar, and of course on screen as well. Akash, I believe you wanted to make a point about the blog here.
Yeah. So do you have that open?
I do.
Okay. Again, we are looking for constant feedback, as mentioned in this blog, right? This was the first version where we did go about pasting the information that we had then, but then we did look at all the comments in the same blog, and thank you everyone for sharing your comments. We actively look at it, and based on the comments, based on the the description that we have seen so far, we went ahead and we have released the CTP version 2, as mentioned earlier, and you guys can go ahead and try again. We will talk about it, or we just want to go ahead and we have reached out to folks who have shared the feedback earlier with version 1, and we have informed them that the MP is updated on the link. We have not gone ahead and publicly posted yet. We just want to see the initial responses. You're free to go ahead and download the management pack. The link is in the chat. Once we are really good with it, we're going to go ahead and blog about it, or update this blog and say that, hey, this management pack is in GA version now, right? So I just wanted to mention that. And at the same time, there is this link that is there in the slide, which is Ideas portal link, as well as an email link where you can go ahead and send feedback on certificate MP, specifically on the email address, and the link which at the bottom one, feedback.azure.com. That's the Ideas portal where you can go ahead and request for features, if not for this management pack, any other product level SCOM features, right? So ways to reach us. Feel free to share as much information as possible, and we look forward to hearing you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I would encourage, especially the forum, basically feedback.azure.com. It's a great resource to have available to you, because it's more widely reaching than just this certificates monitoring MP. If you have any feedback on SCOM, Akash and team do look there actively, so it's worth having a look and giving them your feedback. All right, before we get to Q&A, just a few more things to go through. Just a quick word from our sponsors, who are Squared Up, who are the not-so-secret source for SCOM success, providing the kind of missing piece, pulling together data from SCOM and all of your other tools to provide awesome interactive dashboards for all of the data from your tools. Then we have Cookdown. Cookdown, the main product that Cookdown make is Connection Center, which is all about connecting SCOM to all of the places you want to connect it to, from ServiceNow and Sharewell through to messaging platforms like Slack or Teams, but ultimately anywhere you like with webhooks. Also, as of version 4, we have the ability to raise alerts in SCOM from anywhere that will push via webhook as well. Everything you need to know is at cookdown.com, where you can get a free trial, a demo, or ask us any questions. And the final thing to say is this isn't your only piece of community content this month. On the 29th and 30th of November, so very, very soon, we have Hacker SCOM coming up once more, which is somewhere in between a hackathon based around SCOM. We have 3 contestants competing for building the best solution for SCOM based on feedback and ideas from you guys, the community. When you sign up, we take from you your suggestion as to what to build, and they are what we're going to be feeding directly to the contestants. So if you want to get something built, or you want to see it be built, go to scomathon.com/hackerscom-2022. Looking forward to seeing you all on that event. So without further ado, we're going to dig into questions. So I'm going to go through those in GoToWebinar, and then I'll have a look in Slack as well. So the first one is, how can we filter to just one issuer? For example, GoDaddy certificates only. It's the first question.
Satish, you want to take that? I believe
I'm sorry.
I believe we did go ahead and show that in the demo. But again, Satish, do you want to take that as a screen share, or can we just take it offline, Bruce? What do you think?
We'll take offline.
Yeah, if it was in the demo, as you say, this question did come in pre the demo, so maybe that it's answered, but essentially it is possible, is the kind of key point.
Yeah.
Next one, can this be used on Linux servers as well, as it has the SCOM agent installed for discovery?
Yeah, valid question. We do not have that added in our roadmap yet. When we started exploring this management pack, there was a request, or rather, there were customers who are using certificates for Linux, and there was an ask saying that, hey, we want to monitor them as well. As of now, we have not had it, or rather, we do not have it on our GA plan. But again, post GA, definitely we can go ahead and reconsider. If you can let us know the impact, or I would say, let us know a strong justification by writing to us on that cert MP distribution list. We can definitely reconsider at a sooner time.
Sounds good, thank you. Next one, how do you exclude multiple certificates from monitoring based on CN?
Satish?
When we adding the CA pattern, there we can add the CA name also, so have the invalid pattern, so we can add that one. So
is there a limit to that, Satish? I'm sorry, is there a limit to the number of exclusion or inclusion pattern?
No limit. The regex pattern, what we can allow the text box, there we can map the pattern, it will allow the.
Okay. How about kind of wildcarding as opposed to individual certificates?
Yeah, name pattern, the issuer name also we have the pattern, the name there we can set. So the particular issuer, right? So we can have the pattern.
Sounds good, perfect. Okay, moving on then. So the next thing is more feedback than a question. So the piece of feedback is the alerts do not include the originating server in either the source or path. This is a pain when interfacing with ticketing systems directly from SCOM alerts. So more a piece of feedback than I think a question. Something to consider in either GA or the future, to include the originating server in source or path. Makes sense when you're pushing to ServiceNow or something similar.
And this is what we've heard, and we've gone ahead and fixed it in the version 2, which is available on the same download. And that's what even Satish went ahead and demoed. So right now in an alert, you get to see what server is the certificate hosted on, as well as what store the certificate is part of.
Perfect. Okay, there you go. Quickest turnaround from feedback to fix. Sounds good. And not the final thing. The next question, are there any out-of-the-box tasks that can be run to disable sets from being monitored, etc.?
I don't think so. We have any. Satish, do you know?
No, as of now, no task. We'll think about next versions of the.
Sounds good. Next one, are we able to exclude the 24-hour Azure certs in the MP?
I'm not sure if we follow. Can you put that or show that the chat or put that question in the display the question if you don't mind? I'm not sure if we followed that.
I don't think GoToWebinar will allow me because it's in the GoToWebinar questions box. The question is, are we able to exclude the 24-hour Azure certs in the MP? So I think this is that sort of Azure's deliberately short-lived certificates.
Okay, that's a interesting scenario. We are not aware of that, so probably we can take it as a suggestion. You can put it on the comments of the blog.
Okay. Let's see what else we've got here. Nope, just comments. How about permissions on certificates installed on Windows servers? Is the final question.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Bruce? What is the exact question?
Well, the words that I'll read verbatim what I have. How about permissions on certificates installed on Windows servers? I'm not sure what exactly relating to to permissions, but that's what it says. If that doesn't make sense, we'll ask.
I feel maybe the question is around what permissions are needed, or rather, what permissions does the SCOM need to have for the to access the certificate store on Windows Server? I believe that could be one angle.
Permissions set on a certificate. Yeah.
Satish, do you know if there are any specific permissions needed to access the certificate store or certificates?
No specific permissions.
Okay.
Just action account, it will take care of the permissions. But we have the action account.
So in short, if there is an agent installed on that machine, it should be able to go ahead and fetch the certificates as well.
Perfect. Question answered. Let's see. Can the MP monitor cert auto-enrollment failures?
I'm not sure. So, Satish, are you aware of this?
No.
Okay.
Potential piece of feedback, one for the blog again, I think, or for email. I think that's the last question. Let me just double check on Slack and give it a few more minutes in case there are some that are being typed at this very moment. Nothing on Slack, nothing else yet in GoToWebinar. So just give it another second or two just to check no one has any final questions. All right. Going once, going twice, sold. So all that's left to say is thank you very much to Akash and to Satish. Thank you very much for being willing to show what you've built. It's always good to see things from you and your team. And of course, to all of you at home for attending, really appreciate your time. Hopefully this has been useful for you. It has been certainly for myself, and look forward to the next one. So thank you very much. If you have any further questions or comments, feel free to put them in Slack. And of course, you've got the feedback channels in the blog and in email. So until next time, which is HackerSCOM on the 29th of November, thank you very much from all of us here at Team SCOMathon. Thanks again to Akash and Satish. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Great day. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.